Hey folks, Lee here once again. Hey y'all. First I want to say I'm sorry about the quality and the audio. Sorry, webcam, get to my damn nose. Okay, sorry. Sorry if the quality looks bad. Hey folks, how you doing? Hey folks, Lee here once again. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sorry I haven't done any videos y'all in a while. It's just like I said, I've been working, been busy working and stuff, but today I welcome back to another Batman video, as I've been on my Batman marathon on my YouTube channel. And we've been on the Adam West Batman 60s TV series. Sorry. And today, I am actually finishing that with giving my thoughts on the third episode of Batman Season 3, which is the final season of the Batman 60s television series. Yes, the final season. Final season, I say that because it was a time where the ratings were going down, the show wasn't doing as well as it used to, and so to boost ratings you have new characters in here with new villains as well, but they had, of course, Batgirl. Yeah. Played by Juvenile Craig, who she's definitely gorgeous and very cute. And she is Barbara Gordon, not like Batman and Robin. She is the daughter of Commissioner Gordon. You do have Harley Quinn, who plays Catwoman. You also have some new villains that come in here once in a while. Like, here you can see Louis the Lilac, and some other new villains as well. And Nora Clavera, whatever her name is. Yeah. But you also have Frank Gorshin coming back as a Riddler because they were able to boost his salary. But sadly, he's just here for one episode in this season. Frank Gorshin stayed in such great shape with the Green Lanterns. Fighting Sun Devils proved challenging. But anyway, despite trying to boost the ratings, Batman was canceled after this, I guess because the ratings went down. And I will admit, in my opinion, even though I do like this season, I like Season 3, I would say it's the weakest for me. I would say the weakest because I don't think the episodes are the strongest. I mean, the humor's still there sometimes, but sometimes it kind of... It does get a little tiring here, so maybe I can see why back in the 60s, maybe in 1968, people were kind of getting tired of the humor in the show, maybe just kind of worn out by Batman, and so the ratings went downhill. Maybe there were the better shows, but I still like the season. I can still get enjoyment out of it. There's still fun episodes here, so I'm not complaining completely. Again, the show is cheesy and campy, so that's what Batman, the 60s show is. That's what you have to expect with it. What you see is what you get with the show, so... You know, like I said, any dark version you think of Batman, when you watch the 60s Batman, you gotta forget all that, you know, but completely forget all that. But anyway, it's still enjoyable. So we have 26 episodes to talk about. I put favorites and episodes I like, and I have them on my phone here, and I wrote them down. So my favorite episode is starting with Enter Batgirl, Exit Penguin, which is the first episode of Season 3. Oh, I'm sorry. We have Batman and Robin who return to the Batcave. They're going to an opera evening with Commissioner Gordon and, of course, his daughter, Barbara Gordon, but Barbara ends up getting kidnapped by the Penguin, played by Burgess Meredith, who he wants to marry, get hitched to Barbara Gordon. And he has an apartment, which is next to her apartment, and Commissioner Gordon and Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara come to her apartment. He's trying to knock on the door, but since she doesn't answer it, she's got her key on the picture frame. Gordon gets up and says Barbara, and then Penguin is laughing about it because he's right next to her and he can see him. But of course, Barbara has a secret. She's able to convince, Penguin tries to get her to try her dress. It's like, oh, my darling, you're blushing. Quack, 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 you're blushing. He's like, no, Penguin, I'm not blushing. I'm angry. And she doesn't change. Eventually, Alfred is able to get involved. I forget how. when they find out, though, Bruce Wayne, is able to say that he'll pay full ransom for her safety return, but Penny, of course, refuses. Since he figures, I guess if he marries Barbara, he can, do whatever he wants as a criminal, I guess, do more criminal activities. And of course, Barbara agrees to marry him, but because he threatens to kill Gordon. I guess they should send Alfred in for help or whatever. Well, Alfred gets kidnapped. He sees Barbara go and she's like, "Oh, you know you can't tell nobody my secret." And we find out she goes to her apartment and she's got like a layer back there, which is her Batgirl suit. And Batman and Robin row to save her. They fight Batman and Robin end up fighting, and Batgirl joins in. And she'll do kicks once in a while. And sometimes even Craig would do the fight scenes herself, because they didn't really have money for stunt doubles, so she would do it by herself, because she would be able to move, jump on the table, or do, like kick the villain sometimes. But, and I like her interactions with Batman, that Batman might like each other, and after she's done fighting, they're like, Batgirl, who is she? Where is she? Who is she? And then they find Barbara Gordon. Well, the only thing that's her secret, of course, is Alfred, who tells her, she's like, "Please, Alfred, don't tell anybody my secret." I was like, "Madam, you have my word. I won't. Your secret is safe with me." Yeah, and of course, Batgirl has the Batgirl. As you can see, she has a Batgirl cycle, and of course, Batgirl has on the hair just like Batman. Batgirl, Batgirl, where did you come and where do you go? I can't do so. I'm just right now, But eventually they defeat Penguin. He ends up in jail. And at the end of each episode, you have a villain coming in, and they'll be the villain of the next episode. At the end, you have Gordon and Chief O'Hare get a call from the Riddler, Frank Gorshin, giving them a riddle, and of course that leads into the next episode. But overall, a good episode. And some of these are part 2 episodes on villains who team up, and the part 3 episodes, or just one. Yeah. Alright, next favorite is Ring Around the Riddler. Yep. Madge Blake, who was sick at the time, she does have an appearance in this episode, and I think the London Minium episode or whatever, where Batman and Robin have to go to fight two villains in London. But the Riddler, pretty much in this episode, Frank Gorshin comes back. It's one of my favorites because of mainly him, because he's got that laugh and stuff. Frank Gorshin he's great again. His plan is to, he kidnaps a boxer, puts him in the steam room, and he's planning to use this. I show a picture of it. Well, Riddler has this box where he can bet on the ring, and he wants to control the ring, control it, and have control over it, so he can make a fortune. And he'll go undercover as a boxer, and considers Batman a coward, and he challenges Batman to a fight. Batman has his aiding lady henchwoman, put a big magnet under the ring, that way he can punch Batman a couple times. But Batgirl eventually helps out, and thanks to that, he's able to knock Riddler out, and Riddler ends up, of course, going to jail at the end. But it was fun to see Frank Gorshin back as the Riddler, and him and Batman having a boxing match. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was fun. And of course, you have a new villain in this episode called Siren, who, she does this high-pitched voice. She helps Riddler get these boxers under his control by using her high-pitched voice, which she can use to control men. She tries to use it on Batgirl, but it doesn't work, so they try to go back on steamer where Batgirl escapes. Eventually, that's how Batman and Robin defeat the Riddler. But the next favorite of mine is called "The Will of the Will of the Siren." The Siren, who at the end of the episode, she's in Commissioner Gore's office, and she does her high-pitched voice. It's kind of like a dog whistle out of her mouth, but when she does, she gets control of the man. When she gets Gordon under control of Gordon, saying, "I want you to call Batman." Her plan is to pretty much steal Bruce Wayne's millions. Her plan is to find out who Batman is, steal Bruce Wayne's millions. So, they trick Batman into meeting at an apartment at Barbara Gordon's apartment. They end up going there. Batman was suspicious because Gordon doesn't show up. So the Siren pretty much has him sneak into the Batmobile, hide in the trunk. Batman doesn't know this. He's riding in there the whole time. He gets out, sees Alfred. He's like, "Wait a minute, you're Alfred Pennyworth, the brother of Bruce Wayne." That means Bruce Wayne is Batman, and his youthful lord Dick Grayson is Robin. Oh, I'm going to call the Siren about this. And Alfred uses bat gas to stop him and tells Bruce about it. And eventually they get a call from the Siren who controls Bruce. The Siren there, played by John Collins, makes Bruce Wayne give him her millions of money so she can steal his money. Tries to, like that picture I just showed, to make him jump off a roof. But eventually Robin and Batgirl show up, even though she tells Robin and Batgirl, "You have no permission, that I own the bank now," and stuff, and she still has Bruce under her control. And before Bruce Wayne can jump off the building, Robin and Batgirl save him and fight the villains. And of course, the time before she falls to death, they get her to forget their trance of Bruce. And overall, it was a good episode of John Collins. I'm sure she's been in many stuff. Very good actress. I do remember her in Fossil V. Rodriguez. She was good in that. Even though I like that movie, she was good. Was, if she still, I don't think she's still alive anymore, but was a great actress. And she was great as a Siren. And very beautiful as well. But let's go with the Siren. Okay. Next favorite is The Unkindest Tut of All. This one you have King Tut, of course, who hits his head again, and the Professor, once again. He makes these predictions of crimes, and these crimes come true. Batman and Robin even confront them, and Batgirl sometimes will, in an episode, will try to go up against the villain herself, and they'll capture her. Pretty much both villains will, henchmen will pick her up, tie her up, and try to kill her, and she has to get out of the situation herself sometimes. But Tut is trying to prove that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Nobody believes him, and eventually he's able to put a track on the Batmobile, get one of his men to put a track on the Batmobile, and when he realizes, King Tut is watching his thermometer or signal going. He's like, "Right under Wayne Manor. That means Bruce Wayne is Batman." And he's able to figure that out. He tries to see Bruce and Wayne and Batman together, but of course their Batman is prepared, so comes up with a dummy, which can prove that he's not Batman. The dummy that drives the Batmobile, which Robin's in control of. If this dummy say, with Bruce using for coincidence, you're like, "No, we certainly do not, Mr. Wayne, look alike." Of course, not believing this, they do a fight with King Tut eventually, and Tut does go back to being the teacher when they hit him in the head once again, and he has to go get therapy just to get fixed. But overall, it was a good episode. Victor Bono, was always good, and he's fighting over the top. I just love his mannerisms and his goofiness and stuff. And he just loves it when he's getting praised or whatever. When they say, "King Tut, King of the Nile," he's like. But overall, fun episode in my opinion. I enjoyed it. Alright, and another favorite of mine is called Louis the Lilac. Which I can't. Should be on here. Oh, there it is. Well, Louis the Lawlike. I forget what actor plays him, but Louis the Lawlike here, who wants to control, the flower community. He's trying to control these, hippies. Since this was the 60s, I guess back in the 60s you had hippies, make love, peace, not war, and be smoking and stuff. Yeah, you have the hippies back in the 60s. They use that heavily here. You have this lady who is in charge. She's like the mother hen of the hippie group or whatever, and Louis is able to use this flower to get her under his control. And eventually, Barbara Gordon is friends with this girl, and of course she wants to find out what Louis is up to. Batman and Robin try to, find out, sneak around, try to fight some of his men. He puts Batman and Robin in a flower bed, to get eaten by these flower monsters or whatever. What's it matter? Again, it's goofy and over the top, so it really doesn't matter. But Batman and Robin are able to get out of it from these stereo-lights, flowers trying to kill them. Eventually, Louis, gets out of control with these kids, and they don't like what he's doing. So the hippies, throw stuff at him and try to follow him to stop him. Louis is able to get away. Eventually, Batman, Robin, and Batgirl are able to knock him out and fight him. And he gets a shot with the powder, whatever, the flower powder, like this. Oh, I'm Louis the Lilac. I will have control over the flower community. I want the world of it. And then he runs to his own deadly lilacs, the idiot, and gets captured. But overall, we thought it was a good episode. And the actor who played him did a really good job. Let's see. Oh, Milton Berle, I think I've seen him on an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Will Smith was getting his tonsils pulled out. But good actor, and I thought he was a good Louis the Lilac. So good villain. Alright, the next is Surf's Up, Joker's Under. Alright, and this one, Joker tries to take over, Joker's plan in this season, in this episode, is to take over the surfing world. Pretty much he wants to be the world. There's this surfer named Skip who knows everything about surfing, everything about it. He's a good surfer, and pretty much Joker kidnaps him, has this surfer transference machine, and is able to turn his brain into it and able to take everything he knows and kidnaps him. Bruce Wayne, Batman and Robin eventually going to stop him. She's talking into a hot dog, and you have Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara going undercover as, I think, Posse and Duke or something like that. Posse and Duke. Yeah, these, the ones that I'm pointing to right here. when they go undercover, and he also ties this man up, puts him in a garbage can, but Joey challenges Batman to a surf battle, and you have him run this surf battle. Batman, this surf battle like this, just dance around a little bit, and they come up against a shark, but Batman, of course, luckily has the shark repellent, which we saw in the Batman the movie, and he's able to spray it, get the shark away, and of course Joker thinks, I was good, I won. He's like, and Dick Grayson, who was in charge of it, who's really Robin, but Dick Grayson is like, no, Joker, you lost. Batman was the world winner, and then, Robin, Dick goes into his cover as Robin. They take on Joker and of course defeat him. And he does not have control of the surfing world. But overall, fun episode in my opinion. So I get to see these pretty cool. But these are 30-minute episodes. The plots are pretty simple, And it's kind of the same old with each episode. Kind of like the same things happen. Well, not same things, but it's only 30 minutes each episode. People. And then my next favorite is The Funny Feline Felons. The Funny Feline Felons and the jokes on Catwoman. Joker pretty much gets released from good behavior. He says, I'm going to be a good man now. He didn't even have his purple costume on him or purple suit. It's a white suit saying, I'll be a good citizen. And Catwoman comes over and is like, and Joker's like, Catwoman, because Bruce Wayne is his parole officer, he offers the cigarette to the warden, and Bruce doesn't want to take it. And when Warden blows up the cigarette, so it's going to smoke the cigarette, Bruce is like this, because they think that it was going to blow or something. And it's like, oh really, Warden? I'm a changing man now. But when they go to, like Catwoman, kidnap the Joker, they actually plan a crime spree. They plan to find a supply of gunpowder. Batgirl does get involved, but Catwoman, who hates Batgirl, wants to be known that she's the best woman around, tries to kill they try to put her in a sewing machine, try to kill her, it doesn't work. Alfred is able to go undercover eventually, because they can't follow they can't follow Catwoman in the dressing room or whatever. Maybe it was this episode, I forget. But Batgirl's like, well, you and Batman can't go in, but I can, because I'm a girl. And she goes in, gets captured, of course. At the end of the Funny Feline episodes, they capture Batgirl, tie her up, try to kill her, but in the next episode, it shows Catwoman, she gets out. And of course, the trio eventually do stop Catwoman and Joker, from robbing this lighthouse, And maybe it cracked me up when Stephen Miller's Joker says, oh, enough with these corny jokes, Batman. Let's just arrest us and go to jail. And they have to go to court. She calls a guy named Lucky, whatever his name is or whatever. And this attorney who's basically Lucky doesn't, interview any witness. Batman is the attorney present on the courtroom. Then after hearing all the evidence that points that they've done everything, the evidence is clearly true. They say, we believe evidence, the jury said, we find the defense, Joker and Catwoman, not guilty. And eventually, Batman and Robin and Batgirl find out that these juries who has a fake mustache are really in cahoots with Joker and Catwoman and Loki, so it's all set up. And so there's a big fight in the courtroom. I like it when the judge, hits the hammer over the head over Joker, and a good fight off takes at the end. Catwoman tries to, scratch her claws at Batgirl, but Batgirl was able to fight her off with thanks to Chief of her grabbing Catwoman. Catwoman was like, But the kid, I thought personally did alright. I would say she's my least favorite Catwoman in this series. I think I would just prefer, she has a moment, she can do the perfect very well, and, just all very well with the teeth. She does very well with that, and she does purr very well, but I just prefer Lee Merriweather and Julie Newmar. But hey, I will say this, at least she's better than Halle Berry. I will definitely watch this over the Catwoman movie any day. Yeah, that's just me. But anyway, the episode ends with them getting arrested. It was a real fun episode, though. It was cool to see Joker and Catwoman team up. But I do wish it was Julie Newmar. I did miss Julie Newmar in this season a lot. So, I wish she would play Catwoman again. But she, like I said, she doesn't know those animated movies. We'll talk about review one day, do a video about that. But anyway, good episodes. Alright, next is Louis the Lilacs Lethic Time. You have Bruce Wayne and Barbara, Bruce and Barbara, and Dick on a trip, and Dick and his friends are going surfing. Louis the Lilac ends up kidnapping Bruce and Dick as part of an scheme against Gotham, and they kind of mumble it, and Louis is suspicious of them, and of course they can't contact Batman and Robin because they are Batman and Robin. As Gordon and O'Hara trying to contact them, but luckily, Bruce and Dick, they have water, which they put like a for Robin red pill, and a blue pill for Bruce. Which when they drink the water, they get into their suits, so they're able to take on Louis in this episode along with Batgirl. And I like when Batgirl fights, she always, her seems like she's always having fun and laughing and just having a blast. And like I said, they changed the music, in this season as well. And Batgirl, like I said, has her own theme, which is cool. But overall, fun episode, and it, Milton Berle as Louis, again, great. I thought he did a good job. Alright, and then Penguin's Clean Sweep. This is where Penguin tricks the people of Gotham City into discarding their currency, their money basically. He has these fruit flies which are poisonous, are very deadly, so he puts them out in the city that will put people to sleep for years, for maybe over 100 years. And as he's doing it, he's stealing money. Batgirl confronts them, but then they just walk away from her. And Penguin is just loving doing this. He's trying to steal this money and spend it, but Bruce Wayne thankfully is able to call every person around the world not to take money from Penguin. And Penguin is so mad, he calls Bruce Wayne himself and tells him, he's like, Wayne, you better call them back and tell them to take my money. He's like, no, Mr. Penguin, I will not. He's like, well, thanks to you, Wayne, Penguin gets mad that I will send out 100 fruit flies, these flies, and people will be in Gotham will be sleep for over 100 years because of you. Before Penguin will make go and start though, Batman and Robin also, Robin gets, gets one of these, on his nose, gets one of these flies on his nose, and he has to be still. Batman's able to clip it off of his nose and do a test on it. And they fight Penguin at the end, and they put Penguin in the trash can. And Penguin's like, Penguin, you do this to yourself. You probably got food poisoning yourself, so you're going to be asleep for a while. Penguin's like, I didn't go to sleep. Overall, that was also the last time you saw Burgess Meredith as a Penguin. But overall, he's always done great. He's always been one of my favorites, Penguins, I think, because, again, he is a camper Penguin. He doesn't really shoot anybody or put anybody on fire or really murder people, but he does put them to sleep with nitrogen gas and stuff. But overall, he was a fun Penguin. I think he had that whack down, But yeah, I thought he was good as Penguin. The good campy version. Alright, next is two-part episodes called The Great Escape and The Great Train Robbery, which have Shane come back, played by Cliff Robertson, and this time Calamity Jane. Shane, who wants to commit a train robbery in the pub. In this episode, he gets escaped from prison by throwing some horseshoes at some cops, and his girlfriend and her mother and Jane, Calamity Jane, decided they're going to rob this train, and they want to take out Batman, of course, and Batgirl as well. Sorry if I'm seeing so thirsty, but it's so damn hot. And I'm sorry you have to see my hairy arms, but sorry folks, it's really overheated. So I do like to go when Shane started his new group, a chief, Indian chief, and a new guy who's Mexican, but who talks normally, and Shane seems like an idiot, which is funny most of the time, and he wants to pretty much shoot Batman, take Batman on, and they kidnap Batgirl. I forget what they do to her. Sorry if I forget some things. But the Calamity Jane's mother, of course, gets captured by Batman and Robin. So in the next episode, The Great Train Robbery, they make a switch because they kidnap Batgirl. So they put fear gas on them or whatever, this type of fear gas to make them afraid, and Batgirl was under it. But when she heard about the train robbery, and before Shane could commit it, Batman sends an order to Shane saying, fight me man on man, man to man, without armed. And even though, Batman knows Shane's probably going to lie, Shane comes with Calamity Jane and their crew that they're going to shoot Batman when they're about 30 feet to each other. Before they do anything, Robin and Batgirl, who Batman say goodbye to, Gordon and Chief O'Hara, but Robin and Batgirl, they ever use their batarangs to keep the villains from shooting at Batman, and Batman and Shane have a fight. And with the fights here, it's like blam, ka-cham, bam, it's these poof stuff that show up, and which is fine. I guess part of the charm to the 60 show. It is fun, But I do like the fight though between Batman and Shane. Batman kicks his ass, and and after taking out the Shane, who tries to have a gun in his head, Batman is able to fight him off, take him down, and Shane ends up in jail at the end. So overall, good episode in my opinion. Cliff Robertson also was going to play Uncle Ben in the Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2002. So, but he's a great actor. And next is I'll Be a Mummy's Uncle. This is where King Tut plans to identify mine. He escapes from therapy, takes the therapist's keys because he fell asleep when he's like this because Tut's talking and just boring him. So Tut escapes, plans to mine in the Batcave, which he can try to find out still that Bruce is Batman. So he can prove it, I guess. Even though, Bruce Wayne tries to get him up against it, tries to, not let him do that, but eventually they're able to break through to the Batcave, and King Tut is happy. He's like, yes! He goes to the Bat Dome and he's just stepping on it. I do like it though when his man's like, my son says, see, why don't you lose some weight? Like, lose some weight, and you're like, why don't you mind your own skinny business? But he's able to find out that Bruce Wayne and the greatest Batman know that he knows it. He can tell the world about it. And you'll have to kill us to shut us up. David knocked out Tut's men, and his man hits one with bat gas. Tut escapes, and he's going to reveal to Commissioner Gordon, Chief O'Hara, Batgirl, the truth. He almost tells them that Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. He also allowed though that a rock hits his head. And of course he ends up going back to be the professor. He's like, I'm ready for class. Young lady, why are you wearing a puppet mask on your face? Maybe you hate me, and he walks away. But, But seeing King Tut for the last time, Ricky Bonio, I can't say his name, really good as King Tut. Very over the top and silly, but he was fun. It was good to see him one last time. Just really fun, in my opinion. And then this is my last favorite episode of the season 3, and that is the Joker's Flying Saucer. Which you have Joker who tricks people Gotham into thinking they're being invaded. He's got this he's got one of his men going as a Green Martian, basically going around fighting people. He even goes to the library because Barbara Gordon is a librarian. And she's in charge of the library. She sees the Green Martian man, and she's like, kind of spread more chaos. And I guess Joker plans to rule the skies and eventually take over Gotham City for good with the flying saucer. It would put many fear into people. And I do like it though when a lady named Mrs. Green tells them about the Green Martian the Green Martian she's seen, and Batman's like, yes, Section 42 of Gotham rules or whatever. I said some must always report that they've seen a little Green Martian once in a while, or something like that. Just that was funny. Batgirl tries to stop them. They capture Batgirl, of course, and they try to tie her to a rocket, but she uses her Batgirl, her utility belt to get out of it. They're gonna, so Alfred, how you got involved in this? My wing, he tells her, because he can't tell her that Bruce and Dick are, of course, Batman and Robin. There's also one episode I like where Alfred is trying to tell Barbara and Bruce something as their identities as Batman and Batgirl because he knows it, and he's been on the phone. He's like this. You get that, sir? Ma'am? that was funny. But he tells her that he's there for Wayne Foundation business. There was Joker's Flying Saucer though, and Batman, Robin, Batgirl, take the trio, take Joker out, and he's arrested at the end. And again, it was good to see Cesar Romero one last time as the Joker, because this was officially his last time as Joker. And again, for 1%, I agree he is the father of all the Jokers. And yeah, he's the campier, cheesier version of Joker, but he's fun, and I like his laugh. It was good to hear his laugh one more time. The Joker didn't, for the last laugh, it was good. So, but Cesar Romero was definitely great and excellent, in my opinion, as the Joker. But overall, fun episode in my opinion. Now, we're not done yet. We're on 35 minutes in, but now I'm into the... I like these episodes. They're just not one of my favorites. I don't love them. Yeah. I don't love these episodes. I do like them. Okay. But we'll go ahead and say this is the part 2 episode called The Sports of Penguin and a Horse of Another Color, which in this episode Penguin teams up with a villain called Lola Wolonsky, but Lola, they pull off a horse racing scam, and Penguin's plan is to, rule over the horse racing, make money from it, and, Lola, who has Parasol, her bird or whatever, she's right over top as well, and her and Penguin plan to take over the horse racing business. Batgirl and Robin end up riding horses. Well, Robin, as his Dick Grayson rides a horse. Penguin tries to ride horses himself, but fails. And I think in this episode, Penguin tries to also kill Bobby Gordon. He steals a book from the library, I think, in this episode. And he also, sends a little penguin, which is a bomb, to kill her, but it doesn't work. Or a deadly gas, but it doesn't get her eventually. But they're able to defeat the Penguin at the end, and Lola ends up getting arrested at the end. Although I liked them, I just didn't think they were great. Again, I don't like gambling. I can see about Batman doesn't like gambling either. And I can definitely care less about horse racing, but that's just me. Yeah. And then the Yoganai and How to Hatch a Dinosaur. This is where you get Vincent Price as Egghead and Ogla, the Queen of the Cossacks, play Batman back. So he also plays Ogla the Great in season 1 of Batman. But Egghead and Ogla, they team up. They kidnap Commissioner Gordon because in disguise, Egghead goes in disguise to Commissioner Gordon's office, give him an egg sandwich, and of course capture him. They plan to steal an Asian dinosaur, but eventually, and Helga wants to marry Batman, and Egghead's like, how can you do that? And he fusses at her, and one of the men does not Egghead out, and she's like, Egghead, I need your help, to escape, Batman and Robin, and Batgirl from getting me. And he's got these special eggs, which he throws at the dynamic trio, and it makes them cry, which I thought was funny. It's very silly. Like, I'm sorry, but they go away. Which I thought was funny. And then How to Hatch a Dinosaur, they capture this big egg, which is a dinosaur, which they want to use to war with Gotham City. I think this was was another episode. Well, no, wasn't this one, I don't think. But as they can plan to get married, they plan to hatch this dinosaur, which when they do hatch this dinosaur scares them off. They run right into the police car. But of course, Batman is dressed up as this dinosaur, which couldn't have been affected, but he was able to use them in his suit to make the dinosaur noises to scare them. But yeah, overall, they were a decent episode in my opinion. I liked them, just not one of my favorites. And I even though I like Vincent Price, he's a great actor. I went to the mall. That's one of his older movies, The House of Wax or something. I don't know, some movie. Yeah, he did it next time. Anyway, Vincent Price, great actor. He's always great as Egghead. I'd rather it just be him, in an episode, one episode at least. I don't think they need to do these part 2 episodes. I mean, I like the one with Joker and Catwoman, but I don't think you needed that, especially if the ratings are going down. Just to save up money, I don't think they should have done the 2-part episodes. You could have just had Egghead on his own. But I remember this time they did get a little tiring of the villains teaming up. And some of the new ones like Lola and Helga were very interesting. I'm like, I I'd rather just have AK Adventure Press on his own, just, him doing something. A dinosaur on his own, him being in love with her, I'm like, this didn't work for me. And of course, this is a 3-part episode, which is the London Million Larcenies, the Foggiest Notion, and the Bloody Tower. The trio hint to Londinium that these criminals named Lord Marmaduke and Lady Penelope, who are robbing stores around the town. A lot of stuff happens in these part 3 episodes. They go there. Lord Marmaduke is pretending that his leg is hurt and trying to trick Batman and Robin. They end up putting Batgirl in a dungeon. Batman, they will convert Lord Marmaduke, fight some of his men in the bar. They use this machine to make Batman forget. He's like, who are you? Who am I? But they establish that he's able to get his mirror back. Robin gets stung by a bee, but eventually he has a bee pill or whatever he can take, so it doesn't kill him. And when they find out that Lady Marmaduke and Lady Penelope are behind this, Madge Blake, by the way, Harry Cooper makes her find her parents in here, but that's one good thing about it. She's like, she comes to Gordon and the chief over in London, telling them, in his office, telling them that she's looking for Bruce and Dick, but I don't know when we'll find him. Of course, they're Batman and Robin. But for her last time, though, it was great to see her, once again. And Madge Blake, may she rest in peace. She passed away some time ago. A lot of the actors who have been in the show are, gone sadly now. I think it's that Burt Ward. I think he's the only living cast member of the show. Maybe, I'm not sure. Technically, I can't say that technically, but it was good to see her last time. But eventually they find out what Marmaduke is up to. He's planning to get this big robbery. He puts Batgirl in a dungeon and traps her and Batman in there. But they're able to climb out, rope out, and it's food chase scenes where they're trying to break in the machine. Batman, who is finds Batgirl a mystery because he almost sees his bag and finds her identity, but decides not to, as she respects his identity, as he should respect her, because like I said, Alfred is the only character in this season who knows her identity as Batgirl and does help her out every now and then. So, but overall, the whole London British thing I just wasn't a fan of. So they were just decent episodes in my opinion, just not my favorites. Alright, and then Catwoman's Dressed to Kill. Yeah, like I said, I think Arthur Hickey does an okay job. She wants to conquer the Gotham fashion market, so which I did think was funny, when she throws this smoke pellet at these ladies, making their hair go up or whatever, and freaking them out, her laughing about it. And Batman and Batgirl trying to stop her. She even puts a dress on saying, I'm the prettiest lady. Well, she hates Batgirl so much. And we almost just killed Batgirl in this episode, but doesn't get away with it. But Batman and Robin are eventually able to stop her at the end, and she gets arrested. But like I said, Eartha Kitt was alright. Not much to talk about with Catwoman's Just to Kill. Her wanting to control the fashion world. I'm like, no. I don't think Catwoman already looks perfect to me. I don't think she needed to do that, but overall, it was just a decent episode in my opinion. Alright, the old couple. Of course, AK and Ola, I don't know what their plan is this time, just to cause more chaos. Batman and Robin are, of course, investigating them, and they capture Batgirl because Egghead is able to get, almost being shot from a cop, gets on her Batgirl cycle to take her to the lair. And of course, she doesn't trust Egghead, she doesn't put her in a trap. But Batgirl's like, on the other door, but they capture her. They tie her hands up, and Olga has a man. Olga has her men with swords attacking Batman. Attacking Batgirl. And, I don't know if there was a dancer, but, she's like dancing and moving her feet once in a while, which I thought was pretty good. She seems to be a good dancer. Batman and Robin Shop eventually fight her off and take out Egghead and Elga, and of course they end up running like a police car again and get captured. But overall, like I said, this was Vincent Price's last time as Egghead, and he was great in my opinion. You know, he worked over Tim Burton in Edward Scissorhands as the inventor, but in here, he's good as Egghead. Like I said, I'd rather just have him be on his own in an episode. I think Vincent Price just should have been on his own. I don't think you need him to, to be together. I don't think you needed this character. I'd rather just have Egghead on his own, planning something, Or maybe you just could have had this episode just to end it, But overall, decent episode. Like I said, for me, some of the episodes are weak. Yeah. And Nova St. Clair, the Ladies Crime Club, which I can't even say right. Pretty much Commissioner Gordon being celebrated over his many years of serving Gotham City as commissioner. Nova St. Clair, thanks to the mayor's wife, pretty much forcing him to make Nora this commissioner, and she has, of course, a plan to destroy Gotham City with these, like, toy rats or whatever, which have bombs in them. Batman and Batgirl are able to use a flute just to control it, just to and get them all to go in the water. One doesn't want to go, so Batman gets, with the flute close to the toy rat. He's like, and he's able to get it to go in the water. It's like, Batman's like, they're able to get control or something. He sounds intelligent, but funny and idiotic at the same time, but brilliantly done. As Adam West gives it as Batman, with his deadpan humor, Adam West is just so brilliant. But Nora gets arrested, and she tries to put them in a kind of a Siamese trap, which they can't move. She even, has Batgirl on a knife, trying to kill Batgirl. But Batman's able to, I can't wiggle my ears, but tries to get, Robin to wiggle his hand a little bit, and they get out of this. And overall, it was just a decent episode in my opinion. Alright guys, just 2 more episodes and we'll be done here. Alright, the interesting Dr. Canandra. Sorry. The interesting Dr. Canandra. Who is this Dr. Canandra? She's like kind of a scientist. She discovers a way of becoming invisible. Eventually, her and her husband. You get some cameos from Catwoman, King Tut, the Joker, and the Penguin and the Riddler. All uncredited stand-ins, I guess. So it's not really the actors themselves. It's just stand-ins. Which, if you can pause enough, when I pause enough to see like King Tut run, I can see that it was not Richard Bonio, and you don't even really see their faces. So definitely stunt doubles, because Julie Newmar does not come back. It's a stunt double, body double. I heard from that this time though that they're running out of budget, running out of money at this time too, so probably that's why. But her Dr. Canandra and her husband or whatever start robbing banks, but she wants to use it like kind of like take over the world, basically take over Gotham City, plan all these crimes. Batman and Robin try to stop her. She has, and Batgirl, the trio do, she shoots them with a spray gun that makes them freeze, turns them into kind of like statues or whatever, like turns them into paper thin or whatever statues. And so Alfred has to take them back to the Batcave, of course, go in disguise, turn them back, of course, bring the Batmobile back over, because the remote, they can only control the Batmobile to come back to the Batcave. But as Alfred, sends the spray over them, he has to run out of there before Batgirl sees him, and she'll know Bruce, and before she knows Batman and Robin's identity as Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. So, but they, Dr. Cassandra breaks into the, Commissioner Gordon. She ties them up, but they go to the jail though and force the warden to let all the criminals go, which she gets, like I said, Catwoman, aka King Tut, the Joker, and the Penguin, the Riddler, to plan to commit all these crimes, and she'll give them these pills if they help her out. and of course they split the loot. Batman and Robin comes out and like, they say, take the pills. So, what's interesting about this fight is they have to fight these villains which they can't see or are invisible. So Batman says to fight fire with fire, or if you say, level the playing field, and turns the lights off, because if they can't see them, they can't fight. But Batman and Batgirl trio take them out, and as the criminals go to jail at the end. Overall, decent episode. But about the whole thing with turning invisible and stuff, that was interesting. The two actors that played them were... I can't say their name right, I'm sorry. But overall, they were good. That extended was a good villainous. Alright, and now, talking about the final and last episode of Batman, as a like of mine. The last one, the final episode of Batman, Minerva Mayhem the Millionaires. Minerva, who was a woman who has a spa, Suzu Gabo, and Friday the Fence, who was also in Batman Season 2 episode where he's talking to Juno's Catwoman, is in this episode. Minerva, who was basically bringing all his new... Of course, Wayne Dozier came there as himself in here, and Minerva, she has in her spa, she has this mind control thing where she can read millionaires' minds, and, listens to it in this machine, like an airport to it, where she can read their minds, finding out what they keep their million and their loot, and she steals it from them. She eventually does the same thing to Bruce Wayne. Bruce gets suspicious of her, and they try to go investigate them as Batman and Robin. But they say, Batman and Robin, would you like to spawn Batman and Robin? I'm like, yeah, sure. And they pretty much capture Batman and Robin and put them in here. Batman and Robin get it out and eventually take their men out. And then over, Bruce and Batman has planned to send Alfred in as a millionaire that she, the richest man ever, just to plan to capture him, but she realizes that he's not the millionaire, but before she can find out what Alfred knows that Bruce and Dick, and of course, who Batgirl was, before he can reveal their identities. Batgirl thankfully shows up. I don't know where to whistle there a little bit, but her men show up to take Batgirl, and almost get ready to kill her, to get rid of them, even though I guess she's like Commissioner Gordon finds her attractive. They don't really want to fuck her or anything. And at the end of the episode, she gets arrested, and Batman and Robin don't want to carry the threat who have to carry with who Batgirl is. We just have to wonder that, Robin. And then you have Batgirl and Alfred talking at the end of the episode about the spa. But overall, yeah. And that was the last episode of Batman. So, Batman Season 3, that is the final and last episode of Batman the 60 show. Yeah. Now, I forgot to do ratings for, I think. Well, the first season, I think I gave 4 or 5 stars, but Season 2, Part 1, I'll give 4, and Part 2, I'll give them 4 to 5 stars. This I'll give 3 out of 5 stars, because again, it was decent. This is the weakest season in my opinion. I like it, but I just think the previous seasons are better. Season 1 and 2 had a lot more better episodes than this. And this is still fun to watch. The humor still works at times. The deadpan humor is still good. Like I said, it's cheesy, it's campy, but in defense of the Batman 60 show, one thing I will say about it, that I love about its charm, is that it's funny. Yes. It's funny, in my opinion. Batman can be different things. I've heard somebody say it before, and I agree. Batman can be funny, he can be dark, he can be anything. Watch Batman the that's pretty campy from what I've seen of it. Anything that Batman that comes off campy or corny or funny, I'm sure it takes influence from the 60s Batman. Yes. If you had comedy in Batman, any comedy you see in Batman they put in there, I'm sure they take inspiration from this. But that's the end of the Batman 60 show. Like I said, the weakest season in my opinion. I definitely will miss watching this show. It sucks that I wish we had Batman Season 4, but then the ratings went down, and so the show's canceled, and CBS just didn't want to give them more money out to it, so that's why I canceled it. It sucks that we didn't get Season 4, but despite that, these 3 seasons are good enough, and they're entertaining, and they're fun to watch, and we have a movie out of Batman, and you have the Return of the Cape Crusaders, and Batman vs. Superman, and you have that, I think, Adam and Burt returning to the Batcave. little TV special movie they did, which I'll go to review that one day. And the new Adventures of Batman, which will be the next Batman show I'll talk about one day, which I believe they come back. It's a cartoon, but Adam West and Burt will voice the characters. So if they do come back as Batman and Robin, they do come a few times over the years they did. But I know Adam West had a hard time, especially after Batman was canceled, with roles and stuff, and he was depressed, and he went to the bottle and had just had a hard time over the years. But eventually he came back on top of Family Guy. But to me, Adam West will always be the over-the-top, silly Batman. Burt Ward was a great Robin. I love the cast in the show. They're all great, in my opinion. Every actor who's played villains, they've all done a good job. Cesar Romero, Burgess Meredith, Joey Newmar, they've all been great. It's just a fun show, in my opinion. Batman 60 show is fun. It's entertaining. It's cheesy. It's campy. You can just have fun with it, Again, like I said, the dark version of Batman, forget all that. When you watch this show, erase that from your mind. Forget all that. Just have fun. There's nothing wrong with having fun, guys. I'm just saying, have a little fun for once, Because Batman's dark, should be dark. No, Batman can be cheesy and campy, and this show proves it. This show is charmed because of that. Yeah, I remember in the biopic they said it. This makes camp cool, and this show is fun. So, but all the seasons are good. But Batman season 3, I still give it a thumbs up, 3 out of 5 stars by rating for this season. So, guys, tell me in the comments down below. Tell me in the comments down below. What are your favorite episodes of Batman Season 3, the final season of the Batman 60 television series? So, coming to an end of this. So, guys, tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of this season of Batman? And I hope you guys enjoyed me doing a TV show collection and talking about my favorite episodes of Batman Season 1, Season 2, Part 1, and Part 2, and of course Season 3. So, anyway, for the next videos, I will now be going back to doing movie reviews. We will be reviewing the live-action Batman movies. 8 movies, not the Batman, with Robert Pattinson. Because Ben Affleck came first. So, that's why I'm holding off on that. But anyway, there will be more Batman videos, guys, and next I'll be reviewing the live-action Batman movies. So, all live-action, 8 movies, and of course, we're not done with the Batman 6 show completely because the next video. Alright. I will be reviewing this movie, the Tim Burton Batman films, the Joel Schumacher ones, and the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. So, but we're going to start off with this. This is the first Batman film to come out. And who knows, maybe we'll take a time review today, maybe. I don't know, folks. I don't really know yet. But, yeah. I will be reviewing, starting with the live-action Batman movies. I will be starting with Batman the Movie, 1966. So, this is right at the first season, so this is a special edition of it, which I have to look up, but, yeah, Batman the Movie, this will be next. So stay tuned for some live-action Batman reviews. We will be starting with Batman the Movie, so this will be the next video. Maybe today, or tomorrow, I don't know, folks, or maybe next Saturday. Again, because of work, I will only be able to do a review on the weekends. I'm sorry, but guys, I'm just busy with work. I have to work, I have to make money. I almost lost my temper at work a little bit. Sorry about that, I shouldn't have mentioned that, but I gotta be careful doing that because I don't lose my job. Because I like working at Rooms to Go, it's a very good job, and plus I need the money. My rent just bumped up, so But anyway, guys, at least I can still be here on YouTube and be happy. And even though I work at Rooms to Go, I do consider myself, in a way, a movie critic, and I love reviewing movies. And I consider this is what I do for a living, even though I get paid for it. I just work for a living. Mainly, I'm a movie critic for a living, and I'm proud of it, so I don't care what people say. That's what I consider it to be. But anyway, Batman the Movie, this will be next. So, stay tuned for Batman the Movie. Alright, same bat time, same bat channel, and also, guys, let me know what do you think of Batman Season 3. I hope you enjoyed me telling about all the 3 seasons of Batman, and what are your favorite episodes of Season 3. And stay tuned for Batman the movie review coming very soon, or sometime, or next weekend maybe. Anyway, guys, bye bye. Have a good day. See ya.